Good night. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM with you. And next Wednesday, you know, the year is fast. We come in and sing of the past. Well, so much things happening that year. It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Just quite a few days leave for this year done, and we start the next year. Nobody who is on earth will ever see a next 2014. Can you believe that? There's so much billions of people there on the earth. You will never have a next 2014. So guess what you have to do now? Make the youth side, you know. Make the youth side, because you're not going to see no more right again.
When I look at Africa, many questions come to mind. Many times I ask myself, what would happen if Mwalimu were to rise up and see what is happening? Many times I ask myself, what would happen if Kwame Nkrumah and Patrice Emery Lumumba were to rise up and see what is happening? Because what they would be confronted with is an Africa where the Democratic Republic of Congo is unsettled. There is a war going on there, but it is not on the front pages of our newspapers, because we don't even control our newspapers and the media. As I speak to you, the Central African Republic is at war, but we talk of it only mutedly. As I speak to you now, in South Sudan, the youngest nation in Africa, the Nuer have risen against the Dinka. As I speak to you now, Eritrea is unsettled. As I speak to you now, there is an ease in Egypt as there is an ease in Libya. In Niger it is no better. In Senegal, in the Casamance is no better. In Somalia is no better. Africa is at war with herself. This is what they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an Africa which statistician and romantic economists say is growing, but which in truth is stagnated. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an African which, as Professor Mlama intimated in our presentation here, is an African which is suffering from schizophrenia. He does not know herself. They would be confronted with an African whose young men and women have no interest and low love for their continent. They would be confronted with an Africa where young men and young women are constantly humiliated at the embassies of European countries and at the United States of America as they seek the almighty green card. They would be confronted with an Africa where young men and women from Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, and Mauritania drown in the Mediterranean as they seek to be enslaved in Europe. This time round, Africans are not wailing and kicking as they are being taken away to be enslaved. They are being seen wailing and kicking as they seek to be enslaved in Europe and America. This is the tragedy of Africa. They'll be confronted with an African where people have lost their self-pride. An Africa where Africans are not proud of their things. An Africa where in the hotels of Dar es Salaam or Nairobi, even food has foreign names. When we fry potatoes, we call them French fries, even when they are fried in Dar es Salaam. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with another Africa. An Africa which does not tell her story. An Africa whose story is told by Europe and America, the CNN, Radio Deutsche Welle, Radio France. That is the Africa they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with the young men and women who have no pride in Africa. When they want to enjoy themselves, They sing the praises of football teams from Europe and America. It is Manchester United. It is Arsenal. It is Real Madrid. And Barcelona, not Yanga, not Mufulira Wanderers, not Gor Mahia, not FC Leopards. No. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an Africa which does not enjoy its theater and drama. That Africa celebrates Leonardo DiCaprio. It celebrates Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. The Africa does not celebrate Genevieve Naji of Nigeria, or Rita Dominic, or Lou Jacobs of Nigeria. It does not celebrate Bongowood or Nollywood or Riverwood. It celebrates Hollywood. That is the Africa with which they would be confronted. They would be confronted with African women whose greatest source of joy is cheap grade B Mexican soap opera, La Patrona, La Mujer de mi Vida, The Rich Also Cry. Why must we remind ourselves of these realities? Because throughout the ages, the battle has always been the battle of the mind. And if your mind is conquered, then you are going nowhere. And that is why in the ages of enlightenment in Europe, the great René Descartes said, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. And therefore, if Africans are to begin to make a contribution in their affairs, Africans must begin to think. But the question is, are we thinking? We have universities in their numbers. Tanzania has universities including Dar es Salaam. Nairobi has universities, as indeed Kampala, as indeed South Africa, Johannesburg. We have all these universities. We have engineers. But our roads are not being made by Tanzanian civil engineers. It is the Chinese who are present in this assembly who are making our roads. So we have engineers who cannot even make roads. We have doctors whom we have trained. But when we are sick, particularly if we are of the political class, depending on who colonized you, if you are colonized by the United Kingdom, you rush to London. If you are colonized by the French, you rush to Paris. If you are colonized by the Portuguese, you rush to Lisbon. And if you are colonized by the Spaniards, you rush to Madrid, Spain. And recently, because the Asians are beginning to get their act together, we run to India. And very lately, because the Arabs are also beginning to get their act together, we run to Dubai. Notwithstanding that we have the Kenyatta hostels of this country, the Muhimbilis of Tanzania, the Chris Hani Baragwanaths of South Africa, and the Mama Yemos of Kinshasa in Zaire or the Democratic Republic of Congo, but we have no faith in our doctors. In the area of education, we also don't have faith. Our political class introduced something that they call free education, but it's free indeed, free of knowledge. Because they are so suspicious of those institutions that the typical African politician would not dare take their children to those schools. Their children will be educated in the British system, in the American system, so that when they graduate, they go to the United Kingdom, to the United States. Not that there is anything wrong with those institutions, but the agenda is wrong because our leaders long lost the script and ought to be described for who they are, our misleaders. But we are co-authors of our own misfortune. Whenever we are given an opportunity to elect our leaders, we are given a blank check. And if you permit me a little latitude, and if you give me a blank check, and you allow me to analogize, and you say that I'm given the blank check to buy a Mercedes Benz, what we do is that when we are called upon, having been so empowered, we buy what one calls a tuk-tuk from India and expect it to behave like a Mercedes Benz. How does that happen? Because what we do is to elect thieves. We elect hyenas to take care of goats, and when the goats are consumed, we wonder why.
The question is, how did they get us, millions of people, including their own people? How did they get us to take part in one of the biggest lies that has ever been told to human beings? That there was a man named Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December. How did they get us to believe that and perpetuate it in our lives, inculcate it in our lives and live it out as if there was some truth about it? Now, if the most important day in the Christian calendar is a lie, and there is no doubt about that, nobody in the clergy, in the hierarchy of the church, believe that Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December. And we know that everything that represents Christmas originates in Europe. There's nothing about Christmas that originates anywhere else. You have 7 continents in the world. 7 continents. Asia the largest continent. Africa the second largest. And you have one named Antarctica. And you have one that is also an island, which is also a continent named Australia. No one believe in the hierarchy of Christianity. No one believe that Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December. Yet, they have millions of people celebrating a lie and going about their economical business with a lie hanging over them head. How did they get us to do that? And if the 25th of December is a lie and they know it, what else? What else have they taught us and told us in history that is also a lie? Because there's nothing in Christmas that represents anywhere else but Europe. Out of the 7 continents, one continent give us everything that we believe and accept as Christmas. Everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. All the symbols, all the songs that we regurgitate, that black people stand up in Christmas time and sing. All the identifications of this day that they call Christmas represent white supremacy coming out of Europe. How did they get us to accept it as a real thing? How did they get us to subliminally accept it to the point where we don't even think about it again, we don't even think upon the reality and the consequences of such a holiday in our life? That we now trying to change it because they realize that is a lie. They are trying to change it now. Trying to tell you that, well, you know, it's a good time for family to get together. And it's a good time to give gifts and presents and tell the ones you love, you know, you love them. And that is the lie that you keep repeating and become truth. Because they know that if you keep repeating the lie, it will become true. And so far, for hundreds of years, we have seen that this lie has taken over the Western world. And I say the Western world because there's a lot of places that don't celebrate Christmas. It might look strange to it. It might look weird and funny. Because we're living in the Western world. We believe say the whole world has celebrate Christmas. But that is not true. The whole world don't celebrate Christmas. But how did they get us to do that? Just think about it for a little while. Just think about it. People out there now might, I say, when Musa say about Jesus not born on the 25th of December, but if you don't believe me, go and ask your clergy, go and ask your parson, go and ask a theologian, and hear if them don't say the same thing with me I say. Go and ask a 7th Day, go and ask a Jehovah's Witness, go and ask Ian Bowen. How did they get us to accept a lie? How did they get us to live the lie like it's our lie? I mean, it's one thing to create a lie and you live the lie. But it's one thing to create a lie and make millions of people live it out as it is true, or behave like it is true. It's a serious thing. That is why I can't trust nothing with them write down, you know. I tell me, I have to question everything. Question authority is the name of the game. You have to question everything. The reason why you have to question everything is because they created a day, and it's the most religious holiday for the Christian world. And this day that they created, the most religious holiday in the Christian world, is a lie. And them know it's a lie, but them continue the lie, making it become true, and make generations of people live it out. And black people continue the lie even more than them. Because now them not saying Happy Christmas again, them say Happy Holidays. You know, nobody walking around. It's Uncle Arcade people now still talking about Merry Christmas. You hear them say, have a happy holiday. So they are trying to say, no, they have created an holiday for you that is now exempting the Christmas that they placed in it. Because people is waking up to the realization that no goes on. It's only a few little man, what we call the ignorant majority. Because you have an ignorant majority out there who actually believe that there was a man named Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December as how they was brought up to believe. A lot of people can't get that out of them head. And the things them that go with it to have nothing to do with no man we lived 2,000 years ago. The little frills and chills and quills when them put round it to have nothing to do with no man we born 2,000 years ago. Sorry for broken heart. Santa Claus deck the halls with hollies, Christmas tree, jingle bells. It don't have nothing to do with no man we born 2,000 years ago. Then if the most holy day in the Christian calendar, all of the things them that surround, the symbols that surround it, has nothing to do with any man we born 2,000 years ago. How is it that we still do it? Because we regurgitate it. And it is like a vomit in our stomach now that has become like a cancer. And we can't get rid of it until we're dead. And who will nip it in the bud? Because you have people right now who is waking up to the reality. You have people right now in the earth that is waking up to this reality, that this thing is a scam. Christmas is a big scam. It's one of the biggest scams ever created by the Western world. One of the biggest scams that has ever been created by the Western world. This thing we call Christmas. Where people go to church and I sing about the Savior come on this holy day. Away in a manger, no crib for a babe. The little Lord Jesus laid down. Is a lie. Is a lie. Non-apologetically is a lie. But people will continue to do it. You have some people ignorance, and them ignorance, I say, we're gone by the man and can't go good evening. That's what old people say. Old people always tell you them fools, they can't go the man, we're gone by the man and can't go good evening. But them have a next saying, you know. Them say every day you carry bucket go a well, one day the bucket bottom must drop out. When you think a sweater will go all the while, and a sweater will go all the while, you know. Because you have people going to go wake up. And you see when them wake up to the scam, Western civilization going cripple. Because these things keep white supremacy afloat. These is the things them that make white supremacy have authority over our life. The economical and social order and the religious order. It have a grip on we like a vice it grip way. But you see, anytime we start to search for our culture and start to live our culture, you don't have to fire a bullet. Because if we didn't live our culture, for them things that does be obsolete. But because we depend on their lifestyle to keep us afloat, we become slaves. Not slaves with chain round our foot and power hand, but slaves with a brains and a mind that is dirty, that need to be washed. And them know how to wash your brain. Them brain wash we and bleach out the brains. We brainwash till them wash our brains till it don't make no sense again. Our brains is theirs. How did they get us? How did they get us to celebrate a European configuration of their cultural expression? How did they get us to accept it in our reality and live it as if it is our reality? How did they get us to perform works and deeds pertaining to this cultural European expression and actually start to believe that there is something relating to a man who born 2,000 years ago, that it have something to do with a man who born 2,000 years ago. And we know say it do have nothing to do with no man who born 2,000 years ago. Them can't tell you, them tell you say a man born 2,000 years ago. Them can't tell you when him born, what day him born. Them can't tell you him birthday. And yet you have man who born 2,000 years, 4,000 years ago, where them tell you which day him born, him birthday. Them can't tell you which day Julius Caesar born. Them can't tell you which. This is a man where the whole world Western world recognize as the savior of humanity. And nobody can tell you when him born, what month him born, what date him born, what year him born. Nobody can tell you. Yet you have Romans. You have Roman Caesars. You have Roman philosophers that them can tell you which day, which month, and which part him born. And you have a man in the earth where them say I got save human beings. And 16 years I'm life missing. 16 years I'm life missing. Out of the pages of history. Everybody try to speculate where this man did there. Him did there India, him did there Egypt, all sort of things. The most important man to the Western civilization. The most important man to Western civilization. And nobody can tell you when him born, what year him born, what month him born, and what day him born. Yet still them document birthdays, years of people who born thousands of years before that man. But now them sell way. Even African people, especially African people, fall for this lie. This lie that has been perpetuated for hundreds of years. And we say hundreds of years because nobody never celebrated, 1,000 years ago, nobody never celebrated Jesus' birthday. There was no celebration of this man's birthday until Rome picked it up. Rome is the author. Rome is the author of all we do and think and believe in when it comes to our religious practices and perceptions. You have some people want you to believe that even in Ethiopia it don't fall inside it. But even in Ethiopia, the Roman doctrine penetrates the church and has multiplied itself and become a part of that church system also. So when I make no distinction, where I say, Rome create a day for the Western world. And they choose the 25th of December to celebrate this imaginary person. The 25th of December was created to sidetrack you, to make you move from a certain reality, to make you think that if you don't do certain things and behave certain way at this time of the year, you're not in line and in tune. That if your children them don't go partake with other children celebrating this ignorance that has become a bliss, you feel that your children them is losing out on something. Before you start to tell your children them say is a lie. How can you work for 365 days of the year and you work your hard earn money and you buy a gift for your child and you wait till your picnic asleep and put it round a tree, and when the picnic wake you tell him say I want big belly pedophile, obese man, give the youth the gift, perpetuating a lie where you tell your picnic them say, speak the truth and speak it ever, cause it what it will. He who hide the wrong, he does do the wrong thing still. How can you tell your children not to tell lie and you work 365 days for the year and buy your youth a gift with your hard-earned money and then tell him says a big belly white man give him the gift. How did they get us to do that? How did they get us to do that? What manner of mind, what manner of authority is making intelligent people fall in line with the greatest lie ever told? It's the greatest story. It's a story for true. His story. The greatest lie ever told. Told by European invaders who invade your mind. And then you wonder and you ponder. And you wonder and you ponder. And you lose sight of your reality. Because your mind is enslaved to a system that has continued for hundreds of years. That has not allowed you to think outside of their logics. Because you feel that if you think outside of that logics, there's nothing else that you can offer yourself. And whenever we continue to think in the logics of European ideas and thought, we will be confused and misled economically, socially, politically, religiously, sexually, and all the them where you can find. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Yes, a few station, all the station where we depend, get caught in the whole madness store. But it's economics and what them call it, money. Money drive the thing, you know. Christmas is a money time, so Irish Christmas, RFM I deal with Irish Christmas. You know, I listen to all of the advertisements, them, not one of them mention anything about Jesus Christ. Not one of them. None of the advertisement them mention nothing about Jesus Christ. You understand? Which it's supposed to be the 25th of December, Jesus Christ's birthday. Them have Irish Christmas, them have Merry Christmas, this are Christmas. Not one of them mention about Jesus Christ. So me I show you what me I say. Say this thing so deep. It's so deep, Rasta. It's deep. It's deep. May I tell you, me say a fast food restaurant advertise and them change the maths to sweet maths or some food maths or some maths to ras. May I tell you? No, may I tell you anyway, you know, my mouth and my word, you know, so, you know, the way me I tell you, say, you see this thing here, it's deep, you know. It's deep. Me I drive, come down here a while ago, you know, me I say, look on all the light them and the tree them and people cut down. You go to half a tree, right in front of village plaza there, so in front of the courts. And you see the amount of tree were cut down for sell. Cause one have to eat a food, you know. One have to cut down a tree for eat a food, and this time is the time when you can cut down a tree and eat a food. I mean, I say, how them get to do that, brethren? I mean, really, I mean, it's like, it's deep, man. And then you know the weirdest thing about it? When you talk about it, you hear a man and say, Moza, me come here, come see Christmas, you know, you can't stop it. No, well, you know, me never tell them you have to stop it, you know. Me just want you look into it and realize, say, you get caught. You get caught, the radio station get caught, the people them in a room get caught, even though them, a whole heap of them not accept it neither. I mean, it's a madness. It's a madness. It's so mad that I'll cat a thing about it. Yeah. Cats and dogs, and that's how it gone, man. Believe you me. Wow. Yeah, we see where the Pope bring together Cuba and America to show us certain differences. a 50-year-old difference where America have with Cuba. We see the Pope step in and bring certain, I don't know if I want to call it sanity to the situation, but Pope Francis do something where nobody couldn't do for 50 years. All we are going, I want to go on like say the power of Rome fall, you know. You know, them say the fall of the Roman Empire. Them have a book named The Fall of, as a matter of fact, years ago I did play a part of the CD, the audio book on the radio. The Fall of the Roman Empire is a book where I only pick me study in a school. How the empire of Rome fall, because Rome was once like America. A whole lot of people don't know that, but just like how you see America now is a superpower over the world, a watchman over the world. Well, Rome was like that. Before Rome, it was Greece. You'd have a guy named Alexander the Greek who got into Iran, where them used to call Persia, and him got crossed to the so-called Middle East into Egypt and devastated for years. Where you did have a next man, no, you did have after the Greeks, the Romans come. But the Romans is more profoundly involved with how we think and how we use philosophy and how we use ideas in contention with our things. Even the idea of democracy and what democracy, the basis of democracy, is a Roman configuration. And the ideas of Jesus and most of the stories that surround this man, Jesus, is a Roman configuration. Whole heap of people don't want to accept that truth, but it's a truth. It is a truth where whole heap of people don't want to accept that most of the thinking and the ideas surrounding this man, Jesus, is a Roman configuration. So Rome, even though it is not a power that is visible right now economically, but Rome have one of the biggest organizations in the world that control over 1 billion people. The smallest city in the world is the Vatican City. And the Vatican City lie in a next city that lie in a country. It's amazing that this little city have one of the most powerful empire still existing. Not through no emperor now, but through the popes, through the church. So once it was the emperors of Rome, now it's the Pope of Rome. And the Pope of Rome have more authority over the minds of the people than what the emperors of Rome had. Because while the Pope, the emperor of Rome was more a political thing, the Pope of Rome is what we call a spiritual thing, is a vicar of Christ. Him is representing Christ on earth. That is what it is saying. The Pope represents Christ on earth for the Roman Catholic Church. So when you say the Pope crisscross the bread and say, eat, this is my flesh, it's Jesus Christ's flesh, he might tell you to eat. And him give the wine and say, drink, this is my blood. It's Jesus' blood he might give you for drink. And according to them, it transforms itself into the flesh and blood of Jesus Christ inside of your body. Intelligent people, I say them things, you know, and a muta baruch, I say them things, you know, some intelligent so-called intelligent people tell you, say, when the Pope or the representatives of the Pope in the church crisscross the bread, the Eucharist as them call it, and the wine, it is not a symbol. It is not a symbol, but it has become a practical reality where you have drunk the blood of Jesus and eaten flesh. What manner of cannibalism is perpetuated by the church? And if we go around the corner, go to St. Thomas, we go work the club here, so we have practiced witchcraft. There's no witches in Africa. No witch no the Africa, no witch no the St. Thomas, nor St. Mary. Because we don't know nothing about no witch. A witch is where them farm in Massachusetts, where the woman them when them feature the woman them a work certain things against the church and them burn the woman them to death and say them a witch, them a practice witchcraft. African people no practice witchcraft. We don't know nothing about no witchcraft. We have a cultural expression that define we. But you see, you can't tell black people these things. Because black people actually prefer to say I don't think nobody hear that still. I don't think nobody hear that. If they far. Well, big up my little grandson in the studio here with me, you know. Believe you me. And the first him come down here with me. Anyway, which part in there? Yeah, may I say that the reality of it is that if we stick to our cultural expression and cultural rituals, you hear, so we have practiced witchcraft. But when the person, when the preacher hold up him finger and make cross over you and doing all ash when they rub ashes on your forehead and call it ashes to ashes, dust to dust, like him a bury you. When them dip you down in a water, say them a baptize you and them a get out the evil spirit that I have become a new person. Nobody not think that has obia. Nobody not say that has nothing. Them say, boy, right now it's Jesus Christ you work with. Jesus Christ you work with, so nothing have nothing to do but we, African people, St. Thomas people, St. Mary people, Portland people, when we go in a certain things, you hear, so we have practiced witchcraft. When a man I tell you about drink the blood of Jesus, what am I talking about? And eating flesh. That sounds like something you want to do and make you wash in the blood of the lamb. My God, man. I mean, really. You want to wash in the blood of the lamb? Whether it's a man or a lamb physical. People don't understand how them things originate, you know. The origination, how it originate. If you didn't know how the thing originated, you know, you would not feel say it is uniquely Christian manifestation. You know, see, the Christian manifestation is really something else. Which part the Christian them get this thing from? Washing the blood of the lamb. Because people actually used to wash in the blood of the lamb. Them used to do it. But now them substitute the lamb now for Jesus. And say them want the blood of Jesus cover them. And some of them now talk about no metaphorical language neither. You know, just like how the nun them married to Jesus. Did you know that the nuns actually married to Jesus? A woolly bar woman Jesus have, you know. Thinks that Jesus not easy, you know. You know, but I'm supposed to have one man, one woman in a Christianity. Tell the nun them that way in the Roman Catholic Church. They married to Jesus and pass around this, so I catch the man at the altar said, you know. Remember them did find the whole heap of picnic bone them in a St. George's church. Where them that try to figure out where did I go on in the church, make so much baby skeleton underneath the altar. The nun them, remember the nun them used to ball them head, you know. And wear his long dress, you know, one underneath the dress, you know. And them used to get pregnant. But them no want nobody know, and them kill the baby them. You think a lie me I tell? Go ask somebody from them time there and them will tell you, say, this is a reality in Jamaica. When none used to get pregnant. And when them get pregnant, them kill the baby them because them don't want nobody know say that are going in the church. It's like all the pedophile behavior with the altar boy them and big youth now when them grow big, them start to bust them secrets. But father used to touch me up and feel me up round at the rectory in at the back of the church. Them diffract the youth them. You see the youth them a walk out with the incense. You never know, so them did get touched round at the back of the church. That is what the church is all about. This is the church that people heal up. The Roman Catholics. It's a terrible, terrible place that. I tell you, man, Christmas is in the air, man. How can you escape it? Muta, you can talk your damn foolishness. We are going to celebrate Christmas. That means when you want to say, Santa Claus could be a pedophile like more. I'm going to make my pick the jump in my lap. Sorry, I tell you, I am part of that rebellious minority. Yes. Proud to be part of it too. The rebellious minority. Okay, here we go. More action blocks. No more action blocks for me. That is really what we should have said, you know. Because the action blocks, them now is not. The action blocks like where our foreparents did stand up on. The action blocks right now is religious manipulation, cultural manipulation, economical manipulation, social manipulation. And when you really check it out, you really wonder, how is it that this thing just continue for year in, year out, year in, year out. So it's like black people that get more fool and more stupid and stupider, more ignorant and more blissful in them ignorance. The holidays that we are given has been given to us by Rome. Easter, Valentine's Day. I mean, when we check the residues, the residue of these things that filter down to our grandparents and the grandparents' children, that the grandparents sit down on the veranda wait on this rapture and she dead, and then for her child sit down on the veranda and wait for the rapture and she dead too. Well, we know say the youth them nowadays now sit down on the veranda and wait for no rapture. Because most of them don't really believe in no rapture not there. No rapture not there. Where people up in the sky are blow trumpet like them as some band. It's a weird configuration. Them I tell you. No, because me, you know, some hear a pastor preach. I went to them hear the pastor preach and them I say, yeah, this man hear the pastor preach and I say the devil up in heaven. And God, I say, God put the devil in charge of the music in heaven. And the devil have all these beautiful jewelry. And him have the musician them, him have a musician them in heaven. A blow. I mean I say, then wait you know. You tell me say, trombone and trumpet did make before the earth. Because he might talk about something now where happened before God threw down Lucifer according to the story. God threw down Lucifer upon we down here so. And them say Satan was a good angel. According to them, but he might try manipulate up there now, and God say you can't manipulate up here, I throw it down there so. But before him did get bad, him did up in heaven a blow trumpet. So you tell me now. I mean, think about it. Think about it really. The angels are blow a trumpet. You mean the trumpet it exists in heaven? My gosh, man. I wonder if some of them usually know that the trumpet it exists in heaven. So the man who say him invent trumpet a lie, I tell. Saxophone in heaven. And the weirdest part right now is that war broke out in heaven. War and the archangel Michael fought. War broke out in heaven, you know. I don't understand how people just grab them things that's up. War broke out in heaven. And the angels have trumpet. A blow. Where the angel them get trumpet from? Or which music store them go rob? A terrible thing. Yes, long before Israel was I was before Israel. I was before all of these ideas and concepts and philosophy that all I'm buying we now to some slavery mentality. I was kings and queens, pharaohs, emperor and empresses in the throne room that we build. But we take unto ourselves so much alien ideas and alien images that we forget our kinship and our queenship and our work for the same people them who we also create. I know descend from no African, you know. I hear some people that say them descended from African. I know descend from no African. I are African right through and through. All other races descend from I. So I know give credence to no descendant from African that I am a descendant of African. I am an African and all others descended from I. Man who give Armageddon time. Yes. If you have no confidence in yourself, you're twice defeated in the race of life. But with life, come, let us come again. You have to cool. You have to stop. Don't talk. Just do what you are, don't talk, right? Because you confuse me too. All right. If you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won even before you have started. Marcus Garvey said that. Yes, the question is, how did they get us to repeat this lie for hundreds of years? How did they get us to repeat this lie and internalize the lie and make it become our reality? We who know better, who should have do better, fall in line. Here are some rats that talk about the 23rd of July. Them say rats must. What kind of madness that? I little as the earth day become rats must. Crazy. Yeah. We say give thanks to the moment. Give thanks to the time and the energy. So you know, so we come forward from 2 to 5:45. Matrix in the house. Yes. Me just have my little grandson this, you know.
For real?
Yeah, man.
You think I'm your son?
You think I'm a son? No, sir, I'm not my son. I mean...
Son?
Yeah, I'm a grandson, man.
Bless up, sir.
So him know what the computer there? He might find things for the computer where Brian never find. He might find things for the computer where Brian never find, you know. How much you will eat again? How much you will eat? How much you will eat? How much you will eat?
9.
You're 9. Hey, he might find things for the computer where Brian couldn't find, you know, I should have had the hoodie for the men, man. Trust me. Alright, sir. Yes. Dakarai. Tell him what your name, man.
Dakarai.
Black Arai.
No, Dakarai, man. Where is the Black Arai? What is Black Arai? You hear the man say nothing about Black Arai, man. A Dakarai himself, man.
Dakarai.
Dakarai. With an I at the end. Right, yes. African name. All right, so I will say give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time, give thanks to the energy. We are come out and we are go through with this song here.